Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, often called ALS, is a cruel and perplexing illness. It targets the nerve cells that command our muscles, known as motor neurons, in the brain and spinal cord. ALS causes these vital messengers to wither and die. When they perish, the brain's orders can no longer reach the muscles. The muscles, starved of guidance, begin to weaken and shrink. It steals, piece by piece, a person's ability to interact with the world physically. The name itself, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, tells a part of its grim story. Amyotrophic means no muscle nourishment. Lateral points to the areas in the spinal cord where portions of the affected nerve cells are located. As these areas degenerate, they harden or sclerosis. Imagine a sophisticated communication network suddenly failing. The wires are cut, one by one. Messages are sent but never received. This is what happens inside the body of someone with ALS. The mind often remains sharp, a prisoner in a failing body. Thoughts, emotions, and awareness can stay intact, even as the ability to express them through movement or speech diminishes. This contrast, a clear mind trapped within an increasingly immobile frame, is one of the most tragic aspects of the disease. For some, the first signs might be a weakness in a hand or a leg. For others, the onset is in the muscles used for speaking or swallowing. Understanding this fading control is the first step in confronting the enigma of ALS. The story of ALS as a recognized medical condition begins in the 19th century. It was a time of great advancements in neurology. Doctors and scientists were peering deeper into the complexities of the brain and spine. The first detailed description of ALS is credited to French neurologist Jean-Martin Charcot. In 1869, Charcot meticulously studied patients with a progressive muscle-wasting illness. He linked the symptoms he saw in his patients to the changes he found in their nervous systems after death. Charcot coined the term sclérose latérale amyotrophique, which translates to amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. His work laid the foundation for understanding ALS as a distinct disease. Charcot's contributions were monumental. He differentiated ALS from other conditions that also cause muscle weakness. His lectures and writings spread this new knowledge throughout the medical world. The late 19th century marks the birth of ALS as a clinical entity. While Jean-Martin Charcot gave ALS its medical name, it was a beloved American sports hero who gave it a public face. Lou Gehrig was a famous baseball player known for his strength, skill, and remarkable endurance. He played for the New York Yankees and was nicknamed the Iron Horse. His sudden decline in performance during the 1938 and 1939 seasons puzzled and saddened fans. In June 1939, Gehrig traveled to the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota for answers. There, he was diagnosed with ALS. On July 4, 1939, Lou Gehrig Appreciation Day was held at Yankee Stadium. In a profoundly moving speech, Gehrig bid farewell to baseball and his fans. He spoke of his gratitude for his life and career, famously stating, "Yet today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth." His courage and grace in the face of such a terrible diagnosis captured the heart of a nation. Lou Gehrig's battle with ALS was short. He passed away on June 2, 1941, less than 2 years after his diagnosis. In North America, ALS became widely known as Lou Gehrig's disease. His public struggle and dignified response helped to demystify ALS for many. ALS is a disease that can strike adults of any background, but certain patterns have emerged from decades of study. It is considered a rare disease, but its impact on individuals and families is profound. Age is a significant factor in the likelihood of developing ALS. The disease most commonly begins between the ages of 55 and 75. Gender also appears to influence ALS risk, with men slightly more likely to develop ALS than women. Geography and ethnicity have also been studied in relation to ALS. The disease is found worldwide, affecting people of all races and ethnic backgrounds. ALS appears to cast its net widely without strong preference for a particular ethnicity. The exact cause of ALS remains one of medicine's most challenging puzzles. For the vast majority of people who develop ALS, the disease appears to arise without any known family history or clear genetic link. This is called sporadic ALS, and it accounts for about 90% of all cases. The remaining 10% of ALS cases are known as familial ALS. In these families, there is a clear genetic component. Researchers have identified several genes that, when mutated, can cause ALS. Some of the most well-known genes include SOD1, C9orf72, TAR-DBP, TDP43, and FUS. Beyond genetics, researchers are investigating a range of potential environmental and lifestyle factors. These include exposure to certain toxins, viral infections, physical trauma, strenuous physical activity, and smoking. The current understanding is that ALS is likely not caused by one single thing. Instead, it may be a multi-hit disease. Unraveling this complex web of interacting factors is a primary goal of ALS research. The progression of ALS is characterized by a gradual but relentless worsening of symptoms. This slow erosion of motor function occurs as motor neurons in the brain and spinal cord progressively degenerate and die. Early symptoms of ALS are often subtle and can be easily overlooked. A person might notice weakness in a limb, muscle cramps, or stiffness. If the disease begins in the bulbar region, initial signs can include slurred speech or difficulty swallowing. As the disease advances, these symptoms become more pronounced and widespread. Walking becomes difficult and eventually impossible, leading to reliance on a wheelchair. Speech may become unintelligible, and swallowing problems can lead to malnutrition and dehydration. Ultimately, the progression of ALS affects the muscles responsible for breathing. This respiratory insufficiency is the most common cause of death in ALS. The timeline of this progression varies, with an average survival of 2 to 5 years from diagnosis. Currently, there is no cure for ALS. This stark reality is a heavy burden for those diagnosed with the disease and their families. The complexity of ALS makes the search for a cure exceptionally challenging. One major hurdle is the difficulty in diagnosing ALS early. Often by the time a definitive diagnosis is made, a significant number of motor neurons have already been lost. Another challenge is the heterogeneity of the disease. ALS affects different people in different ways. Despite these obstacles, the quest for a cure is active and multifaceted. Research efforts are focused on several key areas. One major avenue is genetics. By understanding the genes implicated in familial ALS, scientists hope to identify pathways that can be targeted with therapies. Another focus is on understanding the mechanisms of neuron death. Drugs targeting these processes are in various stages of development in clinical trials. Clinical trials are underway for a range of potential treatments. The race against time continues, fueled by hope and scientific endeavor. While a cure for ALS is not yet available, there are treatments and strategies that can help manage symptoms and improve quality of life. The FDA has approved a few medications specifically for ALS. Riluzole, approved in 1995, is believed to reduce damage to motor neurons. It has been shown to extend survival by a few months. More recently, edaravone was approved, an antioxidant that may help reduce oxidative stress. Beyond these disease-modifying drugs, comprehensive supportive care is crucial for managing ALS. This is often best delivered by a multidisciplinary team of healthcare professionals. Physical therapy can help maintain muscle function and mobility. Speech therapy can help with communication difficulties. Dietitians address swallowing problems and nutritional needs. Respiratory care is also vital. A comprehensive and compassionate approach to care can make a significant difference in helping individuals live with dignity. The impact of ALS extends far beyond the individual diagnosed. It sends ripples through families, communities, and society as a whole. For the person living with ALS, the disease brings a progressive loss of physical independence. This can lead to feelings of frustration, anxiety, and depression. Families of those with ALS bear a heavy burden. They often become primary caregivers, providing round-the-clock assistance. This can be physically and emotionally exhausting. Economically, ALS places a significant strain on healthcare systems and on families. The cost of medical care, assistive devices, and home modifications can be astronomical. Despite the grim realities, the ALS community has shown remarkable strength and advocacy. Patient organizations around the world work tirelessly to raise awareness and fund research. Events like the Ice Bucket Challenge dramatically increased public consciousness. The disease reveals the depth of human compassion, resilience, and the enduring power of hope.